My name is Frank Ally. I'm a licensed California attorney primarily dealing in family law matters. Today's episode is called Equal Parenting Time Plans for Parents. Now let's get started. Notice I use the word equal parenting time plans, not 50-50 custody. I find 50-50 custody to be an offensive term because it somehow implies that we're going to chop a child in half, and that's not what this is about. What this is about is doing what's best for your children. Now, before we get into this episode, which is going to be primarily about a week on, week off plan, I want you to think about this. If you, mom, and you, dad, can't come to an agreement on what's best for your children, by default, you're going to turn that decision over to a judge who's going to spend 5 minutes on your case, a therapist or evaluator who's going to spend an hour on your case, or lawyers who are going to charge you by the hour to figure out what's best for your children. None of those people love your children, and none of them know what's best for your children. Only you as the mother and you as the father know what's best for the kids. So let's get to the point of things. Let's do what's best for the kids, and you pick the plan that's best for you. I want you to examine your motives. I want you to remind yourself, do what's best for the child, not what's best for you. And generally remember that equal parenting time plans are more appropriate for older children. Now, if you haven't done so already, watch the prior videos that I've done on these subjects. There's a parenting time video on what factors the court used to determine what's best for your children, if you can't. There's a video on parenting time plans for infants and toddlers, because generally speaking, equal parenting time plans are more appropriate for older children, not younger children. Let's start with a week on, week off plan. In a week off, week on plan, it's pretty simple. What ends up happening is one parent has 1 week, the other parent has another week. That's 168 straight hours of parenting time to one parent. Now, typically, you're going to design it so that you do a division on like Sunday at noon, like I've done on this particular slide that you're seeing here. But we could also design a week on, week off parenting plan where you exchange at Monday morning start of school. The advantage of that would be that you have an entire weekend as a parent. You can also exchange at the end of school on the Monday as well, if that's more convenient for the parents' work schedules. But this will give you 168 straight hours, week on, week off with one parent. That might be a good plan for a 17-year-old or an 18-year-old, but when they're younger, the kids probably need a little more contact with the parents. So what I generally recommend to a lot of my clients, if it works for them, is to do a midweek, what I call date night with the kid. This would be the parent who doesn't have the children for a particular week, ends up picking up the kids on a Wednesday or a Thursday, pick them up after school, spend 3 hours with them, have dinner with them, go see a movie, do something fun, and have some midweek one-on-one contact with the children. The other thing you could do is you could have a midweek overnight visitation to break up that 168 hours to give the parent the chance not only to have the dinner and the movie, but also do the homework with the child midweek and just catch up and let the kid reacclimate to the other parent's home. So these are week on, week off parenting time plans. I think they're a good idea for you to take a look at if you want to do it that way. The next video in this series is going to talk about 223 and 2255 plans, and we'll get to those shortly. There's a lot of resources on the internet for you guys to think about and maybe use, but remember, there's a lot of garbage on the internet. So other than my series of episodes, which are really good, be very careful what you read there. I have developed some things that I found. There's a particular article which I find very helpful. That's by a woman by the name of Linda Nielsen, who wrote a plan called Shared Physical Custody and a summary of 40 studies on outcomes for children. Overall, I think it goes without saying that children who have good relationships with both their mother and fathers do better as their life goes on. So equal parenting time plan is good if it works for your children, but again, make sure your motivations are good. Even if you don't like the other parent, remember, be excellent to one another in front of your children and do what's best for them. I'm Frank Ally. I'm your ally in family law. Thanks for listening. If you like this, please share, subscribe, like it, and I'll see you at the next video.